All right. Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. Today we're looking at, I guess we could call it a Premier League classic,
Yeah.
Fulham versus Ipswich Town.
Yeah.
We've got excerpts from the match report for this one. And
Oh, well, let me tell you, this game had it all.
yeah,
2 comebacks, 3 penalties.
wow.
It was really something.
Yeah, it was a wild one. I mean, what stands out to me is how Fulham could dominate possession for so long
Yeah.
and still find themselves trailing not once, but twice.
Yeah.
So,
Our deep dive today is going to be all about figuring out how they managed to claw their way back to a draw.
yeah, okay. So the report starts with Fulham in control early. But it wasn't just about having the ball, was it?
No, exactly. Fulham's midfield trio, Reed, Kearney, and Polina, they were really pulling the strings. Their passing was crisp, their movement was intelligent, and they completely dictated the tempo. And this allowed their wingers, Wilson and Cabano, to constantly put pressure on Ipswich's defense.
So they were creating chances then.
Well, they were getting into dangerous areas, but that final pass often lacked precision. Ipswich defended deep and compact, making it tough for Fulham to break through. And there were a few key moments that really shifted the momentum. Jimenez had a fantastic header saved early on, and then there was that controversial challenge by Davis on Wilson. He was lucky to escape a red card, and you could just sense the frustration building for Fulham's manager, Silva.
Yeah, and then right before halftime, Ipswich scores completely against the run of play.
Yeah, classic smash and grab. It started with Robinson's attempted clearance. It was weak and deflected off the crossbar, leaving Bassi out of position. He hesitated for just a moment, and that was all Szmodics needed. He thrives in those chaotic situations, and he made no mistake with his finish.
Yeah, that's Szmodics. He seems to have a knack for scoring away goals. The report mentioned that this wasn't a one-off.
It's true he consistently finds the back of the net on the road. This suggests that Ipswich may employ a more counter-attacking strategy when playing away, focusing on quick transitions and exploiting spaces left open by the opposition.
Interesting. So down 1-0 at halftime, Silva makes some changes, bring on Smith Rowe, Pereira, and Muniz. What was he going for?
It was a clear attempt to inject some energy and creativity into the attack. Smith Rowe and Pereira are known for their technical abilities and quick thinking. It was a signal that Fulham weren't going to sit back and accept defeat.
And one of those subs, Wilson, is the one who earns them a penalty.
Absolutely. He was relentless in his pressing and caused problems for Ipswich's defense all afternoon.
Yeah.
He drew the foul from Morsey in the box. But even then, they needed VAR to intervene.
Oh, really?
Because the referee initially seemed hesitant, Jimenez stepped up and coolly slotted home the penalty.
Do you think the referee was feeling the pressure of such a tight game?
Perhaps. Big games like this often have a lot riding on them, but regardless, Fulham were level.
And then, 21 seconds later, they're behind again?
It was a real sucker punch. Delap won a penalty at the other end, and just like that, Ipswich were back in the lead. It was a reminder that while Fulham were strong going forward, they were vulnerable at the back.
So back to square one for Fulham. But the report mentions their reputation for late goals. Did that play a factor?
It definitely felt like they still believed. They kept pushing, kept probing. Jimenez almost scored with another header. But time was ticking away. And just when it seemed like all hope was lost, drama.
A third penalty. It felt like every time we caught our breath, something else happened.
It was an incredible finish to the match. Just moments after Ipswich almost scored themselves on a counterattack, Davis tripped Jimenez in the box, another penalty.
And Jimenez stepped up again, ice in his veins. Another perfect penalty to secure the draw.
A fitting end to a match that was full of twists and turns. That draw extends Fulham's unbeaten run against Ipswich to 9 games. But Ipswich will take heart from their performance as they continue to fight their way out of the relegation zone.
What a game. You know, it makes you think. Was that draw a fair result? Did Fulham do enough to earn it? Or were Ipswich unlucky not to secure their first back-to-back win in ages? What do you think?
I don't know. I think that's something for the listener to decide. But, you know, Ipswich, they really showed that they can compete at this level. And Fulham, well, they just never give up, do they?
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll be back soon with more in-depth analysis of the beautiful game.
See you, Rog.